Hi everybody! Alright, so today we're making the mom pillows. Woohoo! It's exciting! I am back home from camp and ready to make these with you guys. I'm going to give it a minute or two here just to get some people on and then we will start, okay? I'm going to set some things up. I'm just going to kind of leave this in front of the camera so everybody knows what we're making, okay? I'm going to give it a little bit of time because I am a little bit early. I couldn't remember if I told you guys. I think I posted on some pages that I was doing 5:30 and some 5 today. So I just kind of came either early or late or whatever. I don't know. But I just know I put like 5 or 5:30 and I couldn't remember which one. So I'm here now. So I got a couple on there. I'm just going to give it another minute or two. I'm just going to get a couple things set up and then we will start. Okay? Oh, yay, I got quite a few here. Awesome. Okay, got 15. Awesome. Okay, guys, let me look at the comments here real quick. Okay, and then we'll get started. Hi, Elizabeth. Shauna, hi. Jess, Nancy, Wanda, Steph, hi, everybody. I know I'm going to have quite a few on here for this one. I think everybody was kind of looking forward to this one today. So, we'll go ahead and start since I have a lot on here. And then if anybody, has any questions, I'm sure they know by now to comment. Okay, so we're making the mom pillows today. All right, this is exciting. Hi, Tammy. Mom. All right, so what you will need, I'm going to go over all of that first. There is 2 different ways that I'm going to show you how to make them today. The first way is, of course, the Cricut. Okay, that's the big way to make them. And then the second is actually a stencil. Okay, so it just depends on what you have. I understand that everybody has a Cricut machine. I get it. I just got mine like a year ago. So up until now, I've only used stencils. All right. Hi, Charlotte. Awesome. Well, welcome. I hope you enjoy today's video. If you have any questions, please ask. That's why I'm here. All right, guys. So I'm going to be doing pretty much the whole video on how to use the Cricut to make this pillow. With the stencil and the paint, it's pretty self-explanatory, but I'll do that step by step too. I'll kind of just show you what I would do if I were painting it on with a stencil as well. Okay, I'm not going to actually do it because it'll add like an hour to this video and then people will be like, why am I watching this forever? So I'll kind of just touch base on just the stencil and paint. And then most of this video is going to be on the Cricut and the pillow, okay? So the things that you'll need, I'm going to be moving the camera around quite a bit today. Sorry, guys. Hang on, my cord's caught. Okay, so things that you will need. I'm just going to kind of tilt you guys down here. You'll need some scissors, all right? I lost, like I said before when I did my first video, I lost my little weeding tool and I just have not gotten anywhere to get one. So I'm using an X-Acto knife. It's the same thing except it just doesn't have a hook. So this is my weeding tool, okay? I'm just gonna pretend like this is the weeding tool for today. This is the heat transfer vinyl, okay? Cricut sells it, and then there is like, I think it's called Sister, maybe. I think this is what this is. This is like the cheap brand, okay? So, I got this a while ago. This is what I had in my drawer, so I'm just going to go with it, all right? This is the heat transfer vinyl. You'll need that. I use parchment paper for ironing it on, okay? You'll need your Cricut mat. I am using the standard grip today, all right? So I'm just using my green standard grip. I am also going to use my squeegee, and then you're going to use the regular blade, okay? This is not any fancy blade. This is just your normal, everyday cutting out vinyl on the Cricut blade, okay? So I'm going to put that in there now, and that's just setting that up. You're going to need an iron, all right? I just have my iron without water, no water in your iron. You'll need your straightener. Or if you don't have one, that's okay. Iron will work. I just like my straightener. you'll need a double-sided placemat, okay? And double-sided, when I say double-sided, that means you can get both the sides and peel them apart. So let me show you guys that real quick, okay? I'm going to set you down. So like I said, lots of moving today. So when I say double-sided placemat, I mean that you can pick it up, both sides, and pull both sides away from each other. And it's like air inside, okay? So that's what I say double-sided, that's what I mean, all right? And it's just the fabric, double-sided, stitched at the top and all the corners, placemat, okay? So that's what I'm using. And then, of course, your Cricut and your computer is what you'll need also. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything. I don't think I am. All right, now if you're painting them on with a stencil, you'll need your stencil, your paint, which chalk paint, any paint will really work. I like using chalk paint on them. And you'll need a sponge brush, okay? Now if you're not even doing a stencil and you're just literally painting a saying on there or a writing on there, that's fine. You can do that too. I'm just technically showing you how to make the pillow. So, but like I said, I'm not going to do the stencil today. I tried to cut one out on my Cricut about an hour before I went live, and it just was not cooperating with me. And I'm like, it's simple. You put the stencil on here and you just stencil it on and you fill it with stuffing. So I'll kind of, gently just go over that with you guys too. All right, so I'm going to turn you towards my computer, and that's where we're going to start today. The design that I'm using on these pillows was one, I made these for my mother-in-law and my mom for our wedding, and I made them like months and months before the wedding, and Cricut deleted my account. Even though I was paying monthly for it, it deleted my account and I had lost all those designs. So I had to make up a new one today. It's not exactly what you see on this pillow, but it's close enough. I just could not find the font that I used for it. So I'm going to turn you guys towards here, okay? Towards my computer. And we're going to be looking at my computer screen here for a little while, okay? Just so I can get you guys walking through all the steps here. So if you are doing this with me and your Cricut's all set up and everything, if you don't have your own design, sorry guys, I know you can't really see my face, but this is more important. And if you don't have your own Cricut design, I am going to have mine available for purchase. So, if you guys, are watching this and you're like, I really like this design, I don't want to come up with my own, you can email me or just send me a Facebook message, and I don't know how much I'm charging for it yet or not. I've never really done this part before. So, you can just message me though if you do want the design. I'll figure something out for you guys, okay? All right, so you're looking here at my Cricut, okay? This is my design for this pillow, all right? So I'm just gonna click customize, because I want to make sure everything is, let me see here. Replace. Okay. I want to make sure everything is going to look okay on it. Okay. I did go on here earlier and I kind of resized everything. Let's see here. I'm reading your comments. Give me 1 second. Oh, awesome. From Texas. That's amazing. That's amazing. All right, guys. So here is my design. I already sized it to the pillow size that I want. If you're using the general placemats, they're all pretty much the same size. You're not going to find any that are like really, really off or really different or really bigger than another unless you actually want that size. So, with my Cricut here at my image, I connected it all. This is all different types of font with designs that I made. So I connected it all, by using this little, attach and detach button down here. Okay. If you guys can see that. Okay. And what I did was attached it all. So I'm moving it as one big group now. And that's what you want to do. Because if you don't attach this all and you try to move it as a group, it's not, if you select it all at once, it'll move. But if you just grab one letter or one word, it's not going to move the whole group unless you hit that little detach down here, or attach, it should say. Okay. So I'll just kind of show you guys real quick actually. So I'm going to detach it. Say I just made this image. Okay, I just made it. And I'm looking at it. If I go straight and say make it, it breaks all of that down. So if you guys can see that, I know it's really hard to see. Let me move my camera a little bit closer. And the black on black is hard to see. But it doesn't keep that design. It kind of just throws mom over here in the corner, and then it throws the rest of the saying over here. So you know, and if this is your first time using Cricut, it can be confusing. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to hit cancel, because what it's doing is it's figuring out the least amount of space to use to print out your stuff. So if I don't attach this all, it's going to break all these words down and cram them on to wherever it fits on that sheet. Okay, and that's not what we want. So I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to select it all. Maybe. There we go. I'm going to select it all and I'm going to hit attach. And now it's one big group. Okay, now I can move it. It's going to stay welded together like that. It's not going to break apart when I'm moving it. So now I'm going to go to make it. Okay, I have my Cricut already plugged in and set up. So I'm just going over here to make it. I'm going to make sure my machine is on and ready, which it is. Now this is the most important part. When you are making anything with iron-on vinyl, you reverse whatever you're making. Okay, so right now, if I read this, it says MOM, and it's all set up right. I'm reading it like you normally would. But on iron-on vinyl, you need to mirror the image. So I'm going to go over here, okay, right by this little mirror, and I'm going to click that. It's going to flip that image. It's going to mirror it. So right now on my mat, it's all backwards, which is fine. That's what I want to see. So now I'm going to go down here. I'm going to hit continue because it's all set. It's all ready. Okay. I'm going to give it a second here. There we go. And my materials are loading. So the next thing I'm going to do is pick iron-on vinyl. Now, my problem is, I could probably just pick this. I'm not using the Cricut vinyl. I'm using an off-brand. So let me go up. I'm going to just browse here. All materials. And there's a million materials that you could use. Oops. I have my keyboard way over here. I can't see. I'm using you guys. I'm plugging you into the laptop. And I have a keyboard and I'm watching on my big TV screen. So don't judge me. I'm kind of like seeing my TV screen from across the room here. Maybe it's not going to come up. Let's see. Everyday iron-on. There is a different type of iron-on material on here. Foil, express, everyday. I thought I had it on my favorites, but apparently I do not. Let me look. Ah, here, heat transfer vinyl, non-Cricut. So if you guys are not using Cricut vinyl, I would pick this one. I really think they're probably about the same setting. And I'm just going to go with the default, okay? So I have everything set up. I already put my blade in a couple seconds ago, and then this is just going to walk you right through the steps. All right, let me see. Hang on. I have a couple comments. I'm just going to get caught up here. Hi, Sandra. Welcome. Angela, let's see here. Oh, thank you for watching my tutorials. I'm glad you enjoy them. That's awesome. All right, guys, so I have that all set up. My blade's already in. My machine's already blinking right here, telling me that it's ready to go, okay? So that's pretty much it with the computer part. You're all set up. The most important thing with the computer part is making sure that you are mirroring the image, okay? It is extremely important, okay? And you can always look. It always says it over here in the corner. It says mirror on, okay? So that's another way, so you don't have to go back to your previous page to make sure it's on. It's always right here too. So I'm going to kind of rotate you guys over here. Okay. Sorry, lots of rotating. Oh, my camera's falling. All right. I'll grab a clamp real quick. So I still did not get my phone or my phone holder, and it's irritating me. I don't know what happened to it or where it's at. All right, so I just got you guys clamped onto there. Okay, so now with this vinyl, I have my vinyl on here. This is the heat transfer vinyl, okay, and I have it on my just standard grip, okay, mat. Most important thing when you're doing your vinyl on the mat, your iron on vinyl has to be shiny side down. Okay, so you want the matte looking finish up towards you, and you want your shiny side down. because what this is doing, and this is why it has to be mirrored, the shiny side of your vinyl for iron-on is actually your transfer paper. Okay, so the transfer paper, you do not want to cut that through, because then you're not going to have anything to weed out on and transfer your image over to iron it on. So transfer paper, shiny side down, matte finish up towards you, okay, and you want to make sure you mirror your image. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move this stuff out of the way. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and get my Cricut ready here. It's already blinking. It's telling me it's ready to go, that the image is all loaded and it's ready to cut. So I have my little blade in there. I'm going to stick my Cricut mat in here. Hang on one second. Let me actually, since I was peeling that up, I better squeegee it down. So I'm using my squeegee just to press that down on there, making sure it's sticking really well. Okay, looks good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. I'm going to make sure it's in there. And I always just kind of bump it with my hand just to make sure it's tight against there, because sometimes it doesn't take it right. So I'm going to push my little arrow button where it was telling me. It's going to take that in, and it's going to go ahead and cut that image for me now. I'm going to move you guys closer. Okay. The little C's blinking. It's telling me, okay, ready to go. You loaded the paper. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that. And if you look at my computer screen, it is preparing, okay? So this is your little loading. It'll tell you what percentage it's done with, okay? So I'm going to turn you guys back over here. All right, while that's cutting, I will show you guys the next step. So I'm going to turn you back towards me. Sorry. Like I said, lots of turning today, okay? Just stay. Oh, let me see here. Hang on one second. Hi, Becky. Let's see, Sandra, my daughter tried to teach me how to use Cricut. Oh, that's okay. It is a hard machine. It is. Even somebody like me, who I've been crafting since I can remember, and I'm pretty good with, like, I was a photographer, so I did Photoshop, I did all the camera settings, and I knew how to use everything like that. So I'm pretty good with the computer and everything. But learning the Cricut was like, I was so lost, and they don't walk you through anything. It just kind of is like, here's this machine, and make a login, and there you go, figure it out. So it's like, it is confusing. Don't give up on it. I know how frustrated I was. So that's why I'm kind of making these videos, is to try to help people learn how to make stuff on the Cricut. And I'm still learning myself. I did fabric the other day for the first time. So, but it's pretty neat. Once you get it, you'll just kind of roll with it. It'll get easier and easier, so don't give up. All right, guys, so back to my placemat. Okay, what I need to do is I need to make a little hole so I can put my stuffing in there. Oh, and you need stuffing. I did not tell you that at the beginning of this video. So if you have an old pillow laying around that you're like, I don't use this thing anymore, it's garbage, cut it open, use the stuffing out of it. Okay, so I'm going to get my X-Acto knife and a pair of scissors. I moved all my stuff, now I can't find it. Here it is. Okay, so my X-Acto knife, all right, and I'm going to, I always pick where the tag is, just because I don't want the tag on there anyway. So I'm going to open up that seam, all right. I'm going to watch myself because I don't want to cut myself. You guys will be seeing like really bad things on this video if I cut myself. I don't do well with blood, so I'd be passed out on the floor every year until somebody found me. Okay, so there I cut my seam open in between those two pieces, okay? And if you don't have the double-sided placemats, you can use two placemats to sew them together if you're handy. I just don't sew. I'm not good at sewing. I don't have patience for it. That and cooking, I'm just not good at. I'd rather build something. Okay, so I'm cutting that hole big enough that I can fit my hand in it. You know, that way I can kind of push that stuffing in there. So I'm just opening it up, making sure nothing's sticking. Some of them have like a stickiness inside that kind of holds it together, but this one here is really good. So that's all set. All right, so I have my hole for my stuffing. Okay, so I'm gonna set that aside and put my knife, or put my thing back on my X-Acto knife so I don't stab myself. Okay, so I'm still waiting. The Cricut is still printing that out. So if you don't have a Cricut and you're at this point, you still cut your little hole in here for the stuffing. Okay, this is, I'm just going to touch up on what you would do if you're using a a stencil or handwriting on it. So you cut your hole in it. This is the same instructions for you, okay? So if you're painting, I'm going to angle you guys back down here. If you're painting, this is the time before you put any stuffing in it. You want to make sure this is nice and flat and even. Then you're going to put your stencil on top of it, okay? You're going to tape it on there with some painter's tape or hold it down really, really well. You're going to get your sponge brush, okay? And you're just going to lightly dab like you would do a normal stencil, okay? So that's really it with the stencil part of it. So like I said, for me to sit here and show you guys is kind of silly. It's kind of self-explanatory, and I don't really have a mom stencil right now because I used my vinyl. So, but yeah, that's it. So if you guys are doing that, or if you don't have a Cricut and you want to just handwrite something on it for your mom, or get the kids, they can dip their hands in paint and put really cute, like, you know, handprints on it, and put something like "I love you, Mom," or "I love you, Grandma," on these, and then you can just stuff it. Okay, and then you have to either just sew this back up, or I'm using the hem tape, the heated hem tape. So it's very easy. This is a very easy project, even without the Cricut. It's simple. So if your kids want to just make something, you can get these placemats. These came from Ollie's, I think, and they were like 79 cents a piece. So you guys can get placemats anywhere and make it a fun thing. Even the kids can make their own pillows. So it's really, really cool. All right, so I'm going to tilt you back up now that my Cricut is done. Okay, so now I'm going to remove this. You guys can see how it is mirrored on there. Okay, it's backwards, which is good. That's what I want. So now I'm going to just take this off. And be careful, because sometimes these mats are strong. Oh, this cut right through there. Hang on, guys. I think I had it set on a too high of a pressure. I had a feeling this was going to happen to me today. Alright, so let me, yep. Alright, see, you're not the only ones. I do it too. So this is a good example of what not to do. Okay. Alright, so even though I hit the non-Cricut vinyl, it's still coming out, which actually I can use this for a stencil, so it's not a complete loss. I'll show you guys the stencil then, why I have to do another one of these. Okay, so I'm just going to take this off. I have to cut another one. For some reason, my setting was too high. Okay, so there you go. That's your stencil. So we'll do a stencil too now, since I messed that one up. See? Works out in the end, right? Okay, so I'm going to just take all this stuff off of here, because this is an example of it cut through the, I'll turn it this way so it's not backwards. It also cut through the transfer paper part. Okay, so this is what happens when it cuts through the transfer paper part as well. So if you did what I just did, know that you're not alone. It happens to me a lot. Okay, it's just because you have to kind of almost mess with the settings sometimes. So I'm just going to start over. Not a big deal. Alright, so I'm cleaning my mat off here. Making a mess while I'm doing it. Alright, good. Okay, let me just throw this away here. Alright, so let's try to start over again. I want to see what I did wrong, because I don't think that setting usually works for this, so I'm not quite sure if I just had it on the, I think it might have just, the default pressure was set, and I think I needed to be on light. Okay, so I'm just cleaning up all my little letters here. Let's see. Oh, your daughter had it figured out. Oh, that's okay. Hey, look at me. Look at me, Sandra. I just completely messed up on this video that I'm doing for you guys. So don't feel too bad that it's taking you a while, because it happens. It does. All right, let's see. Shauna, I got the fabric at Ollie's has some. If you guys have an Ollie's. Bed Bath & Beyond had some, but they closed here. I think I got most of mine at Bed Bath & Beyond when they like went out of business. So you can get them anywhere. You can go to like any store and just look where they would have their tablecloths and placemats, and they should have them. Walmart, I think, has some too. And if you can't find the double-sided ones, you can get two regular one-sided and just sew them together. That'll work too. Or fabric, if you guys want to use fabric. I've made pillows out of fabric before as well. Alright, so let me try this again. Okay, let me go cut a piece of vinyl. And I'm just going to set that on a lower pressure this time. I think I should have been watching what I was doing with the Cricut as well. I could have stopped that. And my scissors, wherever I put those. There they are. Okay. So, I'm just going to cut my piece again here. Make sure it's at the right size here. Cut this little piece off. Alright, so I'm going to make sure that this is big enough. 11. I'm going to do 11, even though it's like 10 something. I'm going to do 11. I think it's 10 and a half, my image size, which I don't think I told you guys that. I'm sorry. I think it's 5 by like 10 and a half. Alright, so I'm just going to measure this out real quick. I'm not going to be real particular because you guys are waiting on me here. Sorry guys, I try to make this video faster and of course I kind of got set behind here. Alright, so there is my vinyl. So remember, shiny side down, okay? Down on your mat. You want your mat side up towards you. So I'm just going to place that on my mat again. We're going to try this again. Hopefully it cuts out better this time. Alright. Okay. Alright. So I'm just going to switch my computer. I'll bring you guys over just so you can see what I messed up on. If I make a mistake, it's easier to share it with you guys so you don't make the same one. Okay, so on here, it has default. I think my mistake was I used default, and this vinyl, it's kind of like a touch and go with vinyl. So if you're not actually using Cricut vinyl, which I am not right now, there's different settings, and you never know which one to use because the off-brand of vinyl, unless you get lucky, is not going to tell you what setting to use. So I am just going to go, I'm going to go back. I'm just going to hit finish here. Got it. Okay, so I'm just going to go to make it again. Just bear with me, you guys. I'm going to go to mirror. Cannot forget to mirror because that's all I need to do now is forget that and have to do it all over again. So I'm going to go to continue. I'm just going to pick Cricut vinyl. Maybe that's why it's on here. Maybe that's what I did last time. I can't remember. I thought I'd pick something different. So I'm just going to go to that and I'm going to go to less. Okay, so it's not going to have as much pressure. Right here is your pressure amount, which determines how far it goes through the fabric, the vinyl, or whatever you're cutting. So I'm going to just try this again. Not a big deal. The only thing I lost was time with you guys. Okay, there you go. I'm going to turn you guys towards my Cricut again. Okay, move you down a little bit. Alright, so hopefully this works. Fingers crossed. Say a little prayer for me so I don't embarrass myself again. Alright, let me find my little tool here. There it is. Okay, so shiny side down, guys. Remember that, okay? And that side up. And I'm just going to load this again into my Cricut. Make sure everything's nice and even. I'm going to press my little button. Okay. Loading it. And I'm going to watch it this time because I did not last time. And that's how that ended up cutting all of that wrong. So just bear with me. Yes, Wanda, you can absolutely use a hot glue gun. Yes, you can. That's awesome. I'm just making sure this isn't cutting through the whole way again, so I'm going to pause it here as soon as it gets down low enough for me to see some of the image, and I'm going to make sure it's not cutting it again. Sorry, guys. Alright, so I'm just going to pause it right there real quick, and I just want to make sure this is not cutting through again like it did the last time. Just being very careful. Nope, we're good. Okay, so as you can see, this time it's not cutting the whole way through my vinyl and the transfer paper, okay? If I'm picking this up, it's not sticking on there, which is good, okay? So I'm going to lay that back down and I'm just going to hit continue. which is resume cut the C. I always forget that and I always hit the wrong button. Okay, so it's just gonna continue cutting that out again. So we're kind of just backed up a little bit. All right, so let me see if I can possibly use this as a stencil and paint one too. Might be kind of fun. Let's see. Good. All right, I'm glad I didn't lose any of you guys over my big mistake there for a second. But you know what though, honestly, I get people messaging me all the time like, oh, you know, I could never do that, or I don't know how you go. I make mistakes all the time. Like, I haven't made one of these pillows now for, oh God, I got married in September and it was like 3 or 4 months before that. I haven't made one of these for a very long time. So this is my first time making another pillow in months and months. So I knew something was bound to happen today when I went live with this. Even if I would have practiced it, it still would have went wrong. So just to show you, I've been doing this for a while and I still make mistakes, so don't give up. All right, let me see here. This is just not pulling off in my favor over here today. All right. So I'm just going to use that as a stencil in the next one. I'm just going to set that aside just so I don't drag out this video any longer. That's almost done cutting. It's about 50%. So by the time I start painting, it's just going to be done. All right, so I'm going to get I have a piece of wood that I iron on stuff because I don't want it picking up any like dirt or anything from any surface. So I'm going to get that set up and I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm going to tilt you guys up. I got this stand. My husband ordered this little makeshift stand and it does not move like at all. So I've been fighting with it all day, trying to make it move a little bit easier for you guys. Alright, so this is where we're going to iron on this, okay? Let me see if I can switch you guys to over here. Alright, bring you back here. We are at 89%, so hang in there for a minute or two and then we'll be ready to go on to the next step, okay? Be all done with this. Alright, so I'm going to actually move you guys. Oh, sorry, I'm rotating you. I'm going to move you guys up here, okay? So you have a better view of what's going on here. Alright, so that's finishing up, okay? Sorry guys, you're going to be talking to like my table instead of my face again. Sorry. Alright, so I have my little piece of wood here. This is what I use to do all of my iron-on stuff, okay? I just keep it. That's all I use it for. And I have my parchment paper, which even though some of these vinyls say that they're iron-on safe, I don't trust them. So I still use the parchment paper, okay? Awesome. So that looks good. I'm just going to peel this off. Everything stayed on there really well. Perfect. That was a lot better. 100% since the last one, right? That is what it's supposed to look like. Not like my big whoopsie that I did a couple minutes ago. Okay. Let's see here. Aw, thank you, Wanda. Yeah, I try. Hey, everybody makes mistakes, right? I go live. Every time I go live, I tell myself, if I make a mistake, just keep going. No one's going to ever know. Who cares? Everybody makes them. All right, guys. So now I'm going to weed this out, which means I'm going to take everything off of here that I don't want on my pillow. So you kind of have to think in reverse, okay? So right now, I want just my mom, all the letterings, and the detail, okay? And the designs. So what I'm going to do, sorry, kind of had you tilted up a little too far. What I'm going to do is take the black around it off and then take the black in the middle of the letters out, okay? So that's what weeding is. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I always struggle with this all the time. No matter what I do, this is the hardest part for me, is to take this to get this stupid thing started with weeding. It drives me nuts. about 5 hours later, she got it weeded. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to tear that outside of that vinyl off. I'm going to carefully do it to make sure that cut through the whole way, and it did. Awesome. I had my fingers crossed there. I was praying. All right, and as you can see, it's going to leave the lettering behind, okay? So I'm just going to slowly peel that off, making sure I'm not taking anything with me. Iron-on vinyl is a little different. Iron-on vinyl is not sticky. It is the transfer paper that's sticky. So it's kind of, in a way, easier to work with because your letters aren't sticking and this paper's not sticking to the piece that you're not wanting it to peel off. So transfer vinyl is a little easier to work with as far as weeding. I think it is. People might have different opinions, but it just depends. I just like that it doesn't stick to itself. It makes it a lot easier that way for me, I think, because I'm messy. I'm not a very, I don't know. I just kind of like to rip it off and go. So, all right, I'm trying to be careful now so I don't have to re-go back and do all this again for you guys. All right, there we go. So as you can see, it's just leaving those letters behind, and I'm going really slow here on the little ones just because I don't want to tear them off. And I don't want to have to sit here and look through all this junk pile to find them. I've done that before. Good. And this is going to turn out, I really like this font. This is a different font than what I used on my first one because I could not find the fonts that I used on my first ones because Cricut had deleted all of my stuff when I last made these pillows. So I actually like this one better. And you see, it's really not, I'm not struggling with keeping all the letters down and everything. It's just, this stuff is really on there. It's just really, it sticks to that transfer paper like crazy. As you can see, it's very sticky. Which is nice, because then it means it's not going to move when you're ironing it on. Alright. There's that. This stuff reminds me of the charcoal masks that you pull off your face. Have you guys ever used those? I used it once, and oh my gosh, never again, because I wanted to cry after I was done using those charcoal masks. I was like, why did I do that to myself? But this reminds me of it. It kind of like gives me a flashback of peeling that charcoal mask off of my face. Because it was really, really strong. Okay, so almost done. Now I'm getting kind of impatient, as you see, because now I'm just going crazy woman on this thing. Alright. Looks like it's all on there. Like I said, it's kind of hard to mess those up. So I'm going to throw that. As you see, neither side of this is sticky. It's just literally like nothing. Okay. And then I'm going to weed out the middle of all of my letters here. I hope you guys can see this okay. Yeah, I think you can. Okay. And I am going to use my little X-Acto knife here, my weeding tool, since I lost mine, and I'm so mad that I still cannot find mine. Of course, when I start doing all these Cricut videos, I lose my weeder tool. I'm like, you kidding me? It'll pop up when I'm done making the Cricut videos. I'll take like a break for like a week without the Cricut and I'll find it because that's what happens. Never fails. It always shows up when I'm not looking for it. It's just how it works. Alright, so right now I'm just taking all of my little centers out of my letters because I don't want those on there. I don't think we want letters filled in. And my dots are good because those don't have little centers. Take that out, the center of my B here. So the first time I made the iron-on pillows, it wasn't the mom pillows because I actually made those out of paint. But the first time I made the iron-on stuff, I'm not one of those people that reads instructions. I'm very bad with it. I'm one of those people that I'm just like, I'll figure it out myself. And I'll mess up like 7 or 8 times, and then I'll be like, okay, maybe I should look up how to do this. But the first time I did it, I thought that it didn't come with the transfer vinyl, and that it just was what it was. And I actually put each letter on a pillow. Actually, no, I lied. I made a, oh my goodness, what are they called? Oh my gosh. It was for the doctor I work for. I made him a little, oh my gosh, cannot remember what it's called. Apron. There we go. I know that sounds funny. But we were doing a painting party for Christmas, and I wanted to make him an apron. And so I made him this apron. Well, I didn't realize that this had transfer paper on, and I sat there and I put each letter on the apron where I wanted it and put my parchment paper and ironed on. So it took a lot of learning for me for the iron-on stuff. It just, I don't know. If I would have just read what I was supposed to do, I think I would have found a lot easier way to do that. Something that took me like hours would have taken me like 10 minutes. Alright, so I have all this weeded out. Almost done. Okay, now I'm just going to double check myself because I don't want to iron this on and then go back and be like, oh crap, I missed something. Alright, so I'm going to turn this over, and as you guys see, this is because I mirrored it. So now the sticky part is on the back. That's why you want to mirror it, okay? So I'm just looking. Mom looks good, and that looks good. Okay, yeah, looks awesome. So I don't see anything missing there. I'm ready to iron on, okay? Okay, so I'm just going to take this off of here, and I'm going to set this right over here just to keep it clean until I get my fabric down. Put my parchment paper aside. I'm going to grab my fabric, and it doesn't matter which side you use. This fell on the floor. My dog's hair is now on it. I did kind of clean it off before this video. Okay, there we go. Alright, so it does not matter which side you're using. I just needed a flat side, no stuffing in it yet. My little corner down here is cut for the stuffing and ready, okay? So what I'm going to do now is just figure out where I want to place this. You guys can put it up in the corner and then put a handprint here, or you can write a message and just put Mom at the bottom. It doesn't matter. However you guys want to do this. This is just the design that I have, and like I said, if you guys want this design, if you have a Cricut and you really like this design, send me a Facebook message. I am going to put it on there so you guys can download it. I think it's going to be just like a couple bucks though, okay? Alright guys, so I'm just going to put that right on there. Make sure it's centered. And once this pillow, don't beat yourself up over exact centering, because once the stuffing is in the pillow, it shapes it anyway. So nobody's going to sit here, and it's not a flat piece of fabric anymore. It's puffy. It has, like, you know, the lumpiness of a pillow. So you're not going to notice. If you end up putting this on here and ironing it on and you look at it and you're like, oh my goodness, it's crooked, nobody's going to notice because this all puffs out afterwards anyway. So don't beat yourself up with measuring and everything. Just kind of eyeball it. That's what I do anyway. I'm terrible. My husband gets so mad at me for that. Alright, looks pretty good. And I'm not going by the edges of my transfer paper because I don't know if they're straight. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it here where I think it looks even. You could even fold it in half if you want to, see where the center is. And it is easy to move on there. It just kind of clings to it. My husband, he gets like weird with me measuring. This is my measuring right here. I use the scissors. I'm like, close enough, right? He comes over here with a measuring tape and checks me. He's not here right now though. He's fishing, so I can get away with it today. That looks good. Good. Still can come over just a little bit. This is probably one I am going to be putting in the one store that I have my stuff in, so I'm going to get a little bit picky about it. I should actually. Looks good there. And if anything, I would move it more to the top than to the bottom, because when you look at the pillows, they have that shape to them, okay? And you don't want something way down here, okay? You want it more up. You would rather see the top of it than the bottom, okay? So move it up more than down, if that makes sense to you guys. That way when you stuff it, it's not a big disaster. You can see everything. So I am just going to move mine up here a little bit. That looks about good. I just can't seem to center this very well right now. Oops, I have a piece of stuff underneath here. I do not want to get that on. And that's another thing too. Oh, that was my tea. Hang on. I bumped this. Today's just not a good video to me, is it? I'm gonna get my little tweezers. This is where they come in handy if one of your letters fall off. I'm just putting mine back on here. My U fell off. I thought it was my T, but it was my U. Let me see. I'm talking to myself. Sorry. Alright. This just does not want to... Can't remember which way this is on. So if my U doesn't stick, I'm going to go back and redo the U. If it doesn't stick, that is. See, I told you guys, this is something I probably should have redone myself before I went live. Probably should have done that. Alright, let's see. It just doesn't want to stick on there. Okay. I fixed it. Perfect. Okay, I'm just eyeballing it. I'm not going to move it around anymore. I'm done. It'll be good enough. Okay, so right there it looks pretty good. I'm going to lay it down. I'm not going to bother measuring it or anything anymore. Okay, it's more up towards the top than the bottom. Center it a little bit more. I'm getting picky about it now. Okay. Good. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'm going to hold it up. That's about where it needs to go. I'm just going to go with it. And so I'm going to get my transfer paper, okay? I'm going to lay it down over top of this, all right? Make sure that's on there really good. And you also want to be checking, you don't want anything else underneath there. So make sure you don't have any extra pieces of your vinyl stuck underneath here, because if so, it's going to be on there after you're done, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put that over top of it here. I'm going to turn on my iron, and I'm going to set it to cotton. All right, you want it on cotton setting. And I'm also plugging in my straightener as well, because I will need that to finish my hem on the side of there. Alright, so like I said, no water in your iron. None. You don't want to use water when you're doing this, or else it won't stick. What happens is all that water and that heat gets underneath the letters, and it actually bubbles them up, and it won't stick. So no water, okay? You want it dry. And I set it to cotton, okay? Which it's already on there. It's hard to see for you guys, but it's on cotton. No water, okay? And I'm waiting for it to heat up. And then my straightener, I have that. I'm just going to turn that on now because I will need it to finish up my sides. Actually, I don't want to turn it on right now because that thing's crazy. My straightener is on its last leg. If you didn't watch my last video, this is the one I use for my hair too. And it's like really bad. I think I need to go buy a new straightener. It's getting sad. I've had that for like years though. I hate to give it up. Alright guys, so my iron's pretty warm. I'm going to go ahead, I put my parchment paper down, okay? Make sure you have it all centered where you want it. And I hold about 12 to 15 seconds on each dab. And when I say dab, I mean like this. You don't want to go back and forth. It can actually roll your letters. So I'm just going to hold it on there anywhere to 12 to 15. It just depends on what iron-on vinyl you're using. Okay. And I'm just going to take my time and go over that. Making sure it's all on there. So hopefully you guys try this, even if it's not for Mother's Day. It's actually a really neat, easy project to do, even though I didn't make it look easy today with all my mistakes that I just made. But we have the days. But it is a cool project. It's cheap. It is. I really hardly used any vinyl, and you can use less if you want like a littler saying or just one word. I made a pillow before for a lady that she lives around here and wanted her little town name on it. So I did make her one of those, and it was actually out of the same material. So that was kind of cool. But they are pretty neat. And if you want decorative pillows, this is perfect. A cheap, perfect way to do them. Especially if you have a Cricut or if you have stencils. So at this time, if you have a stencil, you're probably dabbing your stencil with the paint. And then you'll just let that dry for a while before you stuff it. That's all. That's the only difference. If I did both, we would have been here for like 3 hours. Okay. I'm going to check it. I'm going to see where it's at here. Looks pretty good. I'm going to make sure those are all staying on there. This little end here looks like it could use a little bit more. If you see anything kind of peeling up with the transfer paper, that's where you want to go back and just hold that heat on it a little bit longer. Not too long though, because then you can melt right through it. So you don't want the letters to look all melted. All right. And you can kind of tell when it's starting because the transfer paper kind of gets bubbly, if you guys can see that. And that's why I use the parchment paper. I don't trust the transfer paper just by itself. Looks good. Perfect. I'm just peeling that right off of there. My letters are sticking and it's looking really, really nice. Awesome. Okay. So that looks good. I'm just going to put my transfer paper, and you guys can use the transfer paper again. It's actually still really sticky. So I actually save this and I use it for my regular projects so I don't have to waste any more transfer paper. All right, so that's how it looks. It turned out really pretty. Or if you just want to make placemats for mom too, that works if you don't have any stuffing. But it looks really, really pretty. Okay. And I'm going to let it sit for a couple minutes. I'm going to unplug my iron here and I'm going to get my box of stuffing. Okay. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. So I have a huge, I don't know if you guys can see that, there we go, a huge bag of stuffing. This was from, we have a friend who has a coffee shop here in Johnstown, and he sold us one of these awesome burlap bags that I love, and I keep all of my stuffing in there. So it's really neat. Good use for one. I'm actually not going to use the green stuffing now. I'm going to use the white because I'm afraid that's going to show through the white fabric. So let me grab some white stuffing. Alrighty, got my box of white stuffing here, and I'm going to check this, see if it's dry yet, or not dry, but at least on there. It's still a little warm, but I think we're okay. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Alright guys, so the next step is to now stuff it, okay? Let me just turn you towards me so you can see my face now. You're not just talking to a table anymore. Okay. Woo! I cannot wait till my stand comes. I'm counting down the days. I even had Amazon Prime and they were like, can't ship it. So, of course, the one thing I need I can't have, which I don't, it's not a necessity, I understand, but still. Okay, I'm gonna grab my stuffing now, okay? And this is up to you guys how full you want the pillows. I didn't make these very full just because they're just decoration. You're not using them, so why pack them full of stuffing? And also, if you pack them full of stuffing, they get real puffy and you can't read all the writing really well. So keep that in mind also. You don't need a lot. Okay. So I'm just going to get my white stuffing here. And I'm just going to start filling this. Okay. And I'm going to be pretty gentle with it just because that lettering and stuff, I usually let them sit like about a good hour, but I'm not going to make you guys wait any longer on this video today to watch the stuff dry on here. So if you did paint or stencil on your pillow, let it dry for a long time, okay? So you don't mess up your pretty design, okay? So like I said, I will have the SVG, I think is what they're called. I don't know. See, I'm terrible. Image for this. So if you guys are interested in that, just send me a message. And I'll probably just charge a couple bucks for it, okay? Just because it did take my time and everything to make. Or you could go on and create your own too, a Cricut if you have a Cricut. Pretty cool. It's actually fun to mess around with all the letters and stuff and fonts. Alright. Looks good. I love this stuffing. It's so fluffy. Like, I don't know. I'm so weird. It took me, when I did my pillows for my grandfather for his viewing, I made us all one, and it took me, thank goodness my awesome husband and my mom helped make them all, because I had to make, like, I think there was 12 of them. And of course you're dealing with all the feelings of having somebody you love die, and then you're trying to make all these, so it was a lot, but we had them all done by his viewing, and I'm so happy I made them, and this is how I made them. I made them with the heat transfer vinyl and stuffing, and it was well worth it. So these make awesome gifts too. So if you know, like, somebody who, you know, you're not quite sure what to get for them or anything, this is a good idea. It's a good thing to get them or make them. So I'm not stuffing this too full because I don't want them to start, and this is a different type of fabric. If you guys can kind of hear it compared to this is real soft and fluffy. This one here is a little bit thicker and kind of coarse, so it does not need a lot of stuffing anyway, because it already kind of holds its shape. Almost done here with the stuffing. Hi, Dad. He is watching. Alright. That looks pretty good. I'm just going to kind of flatten here, see if I need to add any more. That's pretty much what it looks like. You got shape now finally to it. Okay. And as you can see, this one here, I had a lot of room just because of the shape of the pillow and the shape of the fabric. It's a little bit stiffer. You could put quite a bit up and down on this pillow. Okay. It just depends on your fabric. So kind of judge it, like, you know, with your fabric as well. If you have like a real soft, kind of real flexible, stretchy fabric, you want to stuff it further, and you want to make sure, you know, it's going to have more of a shape than this is going to have. This is kind of more flattened. Just going to keep stuffing here just a little bit more, and then I will sew it so you guys can see how I do the edges of those two. All right. So that looks good. Excellent. Okay, so there's my pillow. Okay, all stuffed, has a shape, is kind of fluffy now. All right, so I'm going to plug in my hair straightener and turn that on, and I'm going to get my hem tape. Hopefully I have it sitting here somewhere. I saw it earlier today. There it is. All right, so I'm just using heated hem tape, okay? And it's actually not really tape, it's just, it melts in the heat. So it's, I don't even know why they call it tape, but it's just the heated hem, okay? So I'm going to use that, and that's why I have my straightener. It's just easier to do with the straightener instead of the iron, because that way when you're holding this together, you're not burning your fingers trying to do this. You can just hold it and clamp it and take your hand away. So I love this straightener. It's kind of my little secret, all right? Okay, so what you do is you just cut that piece of hem tape or tear it, okay, and put that right in between your two sheets of fabric here where you cut that stitching. And you're gonna watch me struggle because this is kind of hard for one person to do. So if you have another person there to help you, that's awesome. All right. Good. So I'm just lining that up to close that, and I'm just going to work my way down here. So I'm going to grab my straightener, and I'm going to just heat that up. And I like the straightener too because it gets both sides of that at the same time. It's heating the underside of the pillow, and it's heating the top side of the pillow. So you're getting both sides heated same time. Instead of the iron, you're kind of struggling with heating one side and then the other. So it does work, I promise you guys. Okay. So I'm just going to keep going down here. Hopefully you guys can see this. I'm trying not to burn myself. I'm just heating that, going down the whole way here. And you might have to kind of, you know, move it a little bit here and there, but it does work. And I hold it for a couple seconds after I put the straightener on it just to dry that hem tape and make sure it seals. All right, I'm just gonna keep going here. So if you guys make these, I definitely want to see them. I would love to see them after you're done with them. I think it would be an awesome project. Take pictures of your mom on Mother's Day after you give them these and post them. I definitely want to see them. That would make my day if you guys did these, even if you used painting and stuff. If you guys posted those on my timeline or comment or anything, please do. That would make my day. It would be awesome. Alright, so that is now sealed. I'm just holding it so it doesn't come open, and so that hem tape, after it's heated, it kind of gets like gooey. So I want to make sure it dries attached. And I didn't use a lot of this. This stuff will get you through a while of projects, and I love it. It's really cheap. It's like $3 or $4 for like a big spool of it. Okay. All right. So there you go. Okay, there's your mom pillow. Looks pretty awesome, right? Turned out pretty nice, even though I made a couple mistakes there on it. I think we made it through the video, though. Alright guys, I know sometimes I don't get everybody's comment when I'm on here, so if I did not reply to your comment, I'm not ignoring you. It's just for some reason on the feed it doesn't show up. So I will go back after I'm done with this video and I'll read, make sure I got everybody's comments. But this is the mom pillow, okay? I think I covered everything. I tried to make sure I covered everything. I even covered making the mistakes and how to fix them. So you guys are probably happy about that. Aw, thanks Mom, thanks. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I hope you enjoyed the video today. Tomorrow, I'm not sure my schedule. I'm terrible with my schedule. Oh, thank you, Wanda. Thanks. Oh, thanks, Alicia. I'm glad you guys liked it. Janine, awesome. Yes, exactly. Hey, you know, I'd rather make mistakes and show you guys how to fix them in the video and make a fool out of myself. That's fine with me. At least you'll know how to fix them yourself. So now you won't make the same mistake as I did, right? Or if you do, you know how to fix it. Alright guys, so there's the pillow, and my schedule for the rest of the week is posted to my Facebook, so you can go on there, view it, and enjoy the rest of those videos. Yeah, you're welcome, Charlotte. Absolutely. Yes, if you try it, post a picture. I definitely want to see them. I enjoy that so much from you guys. When you guys share your projects with me, I think it's so cool. I'm like, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like, oh, somebody's watching this and actually wants to do it. So it's really awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for viewing again. I really, really appreciate it. And you guys stay healthy and safe, okay? We'll see you guys. Bye.